We saw in Paul's garden how he had those awesome 4 planters on either side of the decking, which held up the Coolaroo shade cloth. So, Garth, you've had a look at that.
I did.
And now we need to make one of those. What we are needing is one of our pieces of polystyrene. Once again, nice piece of polystyrene, 1.2 by 1.2. And notice it's also quite thick. So Garth, we're gonna need a roofing square, number 1. And that's gonna help us with our 90-degree angles.
Correct.
So let's whack him over here. Should be fine. Just give us a line. Cool. This is where we start measuring it. Okay. What did you say this is going to be, Garth?
500.
500. Okay, let's mark them off there for me, please. Excellent. And going up?
800. 850.
850. That's the one. Okay. Let's go over here. So we can make sure we've got the right distance. Okay, we're good to go. We've done all the measurements. So first up, let's take a Stanley knife and we are going to make a little incision. Garth, and you've got your faithful jigsaw.
Yep.
And away you go. Right. That's the guy that we want. This piece is just going to go here. And now we've got the shape, which is going to be for one of the smaller panels. We are going to need 2 of these. So, Garth, we're about good to go. Let's go and get our mixture going.
Okay.
Right, folks, for our panels that we're going to be making, we're going to be using a pretty standard concrete formula, which is going to be 2 sand, all right, 1 stone and 1 cement. Now, when we're talking about those volumes and those ratios, it's pretty simple. If we're using a bucket, that will be 1 of your ratio. Right, let's go, Garth. Great stuff. Okay, hit it. Okay, Garth.
Yep, nicely mixed.
Lovely, Garth.
Very good, Tanya.
Oh, this is nice.
Lovely mix.
Take a look at it. Nice and runny, folks, because we're going to be needing to fill that entire cavity that we've created. And of course, we still need to be able to make the little holes in the others, which is the bigger panel. So let's get back to our table. Cool. Okay, great, Garth. We've got a flat base over here. It's got a few holes in it, but that's just going to give it a bit of extra
Much
character.
better, yeah.
So let's go for it. Lovely stuff.
Oh.
Lovely. Remember, folks, work it into the corners using your round trowel rather than a pointed trowel, and that just gets rid of any of the air pockets. All right, we've smoothed it off nicely, and now we can literally finish off. Now, finishing off, you can either leave it with a rough look like this, because it all depends on what kind of finish you're wanting on the planter. You'll remember that Paul's planter had some textures on it, and the way he got those textures is by taking a trowel like that and then just lifting it up. So putting it in and then just lifting it up. So it almost looked like it had been chiseled out. Of course, another option that you can go for is just taking a dry brush. Let me just smooth this off, and taking just a dry brush and gently rolling that along there. And that as well can give you a certain desired finish if that's something that you're looking at. Leave it to dry. This is quite a thick piece, so it's going to need at least 4 to 5 days in order to dry. Remember, how do you know when it's dry? Well, then when it's changed color, when it goes to a gray look. When it's still green, it has a kind of fleck of green in it, okay, hold yourself back, go and have a cup of tea or do something else. Okay, Garth, this is the bigger panel that we're working on now. We've done the smaller panel. So we've already cut that out. It's good to go. Okay, and then these are the gadgets that are going to ultimately be the planters.
That's great.
And what have you used here, Garth?
It's just a 110 millimeter PVC pipe,
Okay,
cut on a 30-degree angle.
all right, cool. And that we have placed so that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 of the holes which will ultimately end up being our cool planters. And the one thing that we do need to make sure of is that we make sure that they're not right up close. Do not put them here. That's even not good enough, because remember, the one panel needs to fit in here. Same mixture that we've used before.
Exactly the same.
And we go. And when you are doing this, folks, just always hold this one down until you just get a bit of your concrete around it, just to hold it in place as a starting point. All right, Garth, nice and smooth. It's looking gorgeous. Now remember, folks, if you get a bit stressed out at this point that one of these little guys is a little too high, don't stress out, because when it's dried, and if you are a bit OCD, then all you can do is get a hacksaw and you can just cut it off, because it's going to be as hard as rocks and it'll be easy to work with. Finally, remember to make sure that it looks like the other panel that we did earlier. Just to take our brush and here we go. Give it a nice finish. That's the one. Looking good, eh, Garth?
Very nice, Tanya.
Okay, Bob's your uncle. All you need to do now, leave this to dry. It's going to take about 4 to 5 days. Pull this up, and remember, you've got to make another one, because right now you've only got 3 sides and you need to make another one just like this. And so you're going to end up with 4 panels. When they dry, we're going to show you how to take them out and how to assemble the cool planter. So folks, our concrete planter is now ready to take out of the mold. And listen, you can hear it's nice and solid. What we're going to do is we're going to make an incision there, and a cut down there, and a cut down there. Here we go, Garth. Go over there. Doing. And outie. Lovely. Woohoo, looking lovely, Garth.
Very, very nice.
Nice, nice and solid. We're just going to take the other few pieces off, the 3 remaining sides, and then we're going to find a spot in the garden where this guy's going to live. Folks, so we've put our planter together in the space where we want it exactly in the garden. So pretty simple, one side over here which has got the holes, the other side at the back, and then your 2 smaller edges, making sure that they're nice and snug to finish it off and just give that kind of blingy look that we want. We've bought some aluminium strips, aluminium kind of angle iron that you can get at your local hardware store, and that fits nicely on the lip so as to cover where your join is. So in other words, where your smaller part joins, we've just put that together. But right now, let's plant it up. First of all, what we've got to do is, because we've got these holes at the bottom here, we're going to fill in just with a bit of potting soil. Good handful or 2 of bone meal in there to nourish the soil. Okay, then level it out. And when it's level, you'll see the soil level is level with our first hole. This is when you start planting. So now we've got to choose some plants to put in here. And I've got quite a nice selection, a little smorgasbord of bits and pieces. This is a campanula. By nature, it's a trailing plant, so it's going to be just fantastic here. The thing is, you've got 2 options here. One, you could just put it in with the pot like that, all right? And it will be fine. It will live okay. But you know what? A plant in a little container like this is not going to get enough moisture. You're going to battle to water it, and your longevity out of it is really not going to be worth it. So personally, I would really honestly take the plant out, and you're just going to pop it into the hole here. There we go. Pop it in there, and then I'm going to do the bottom one. Now for this one, I'm going to use a grass because I want a bit of a mixture. Don't waste any of the soil. Take it out here, loosen it up. Take the little guy again, and we're going to pop it in through here. Once we've planted up this side, I'm going to do the same on the reverse, and then we're going to fill up with soil up to the next level. Same procedures before. We've got the soil up to this level. Now we know that these guys are planted. They've got soil all around them. Right, a little bit more potting soil, because now we're going to be planting up the top of our container. And folks, what is important to remember here is about the flow, because ideally you want the same plants that you've got here flowing up and matching, or at least working into this planting scheme that you've got here. So for that purpose, I've chosen one of these beautiful aloes. Garth, won't you pass me one of those, please?
Yeah.
This little guy, this is a new aloe. It's called Bushwhacker, one of the new hybrid aloes, just to die for. Flowers twice a year, so it's not only in winter, it will flower in the autumn as well, and you might even get a bit of a summer flowering. There we go. It's a beautiful planter that's got the mixing of the campanulas, the diascias and the grasses all the way from the bottom, coming up and into almost creating your final wave or crescendo, which is here at the top. So what's going to happen is these lovely aloes are going to get nice and tall, got a mixture of the grasses which pick up down there, campanulas, diascias, all mixed in, and it's just going to be bursting of perennial, beautiful colour. All it needs is a good watering, and you've got a planter for life.